Hi, I'm Amaya, and welcome back to the Amaya Show. This is episode 8, and as always, we have a ton to discuss. But this episode, we have even more because I haven't recorded the podcast in about 3 weeks. So I asked you guys in my community post whether you would prefer an hour-long episode or two regular-sized episodes, and you guys voted for two regular episodes. So this week, we're gonna get an extra episode of the podcast. Let's begin with the first piece of news. I'm going to go in chronological order the best that I can, but if there's some topic that I just want to move up, I'm going to do that. Starting off is that 17 is going to be going on a 2 to 3 year break for the members to complete their military service. Normally, this wouldn't really be a story, this would be just another announcement, but I feel particularly confused about the way 17 went about it. They had members start to go on military hiatus, and then they were still doing comebacks. Then now the group is going on hiatus, but they're doing units while everyone else finishes out their service. To me, this is like the worst of both worlds. Either a group should go on hiatus for 2 to 3 years and everyone goes to the military, or they should wait and go a few members at a time. But this is like, we have a couple comebacks where people are missing, and then we also have to wait 2 or 3 years for the group to have another comeback. This feels like the worst decision that they could have made. I understand that they waited until BTS came back, so they wanted a third gen boy group that was active under Hybe, so 17 most likely waited until BTS was able to come back to have them go on their group hiatus, but that's just how I feel about it. I would just prefer one or the other. Uh, and that was really quick for the first story. But D8 and Vernon are doing a unit album. I haven't listened to it. I don't even know if it's out yet. Uh, I'm just giving the update. The one story that I really wanted to talk about from last week is kind of related to the photo card I have here of Chase Infiniti was in Ateez's music video for Bad. If you don't know who she is, she's an actress. She recently gained a lot of popularity from a project that she had that I cannot remember the name of. Uh, but the reason that she's in Ateez's music video is because she's talked a lot about being a K-pop fan in her interviews, and she used to be on she still is, on a K-pop cover dance team. So they invited her to be in the video for Bad. If you guys have seen it, I think the video is more interesting than the song is. I don't find the song to be really interesting, but a bit of, I guess, controversy. Their fandom kind of reacted to this. So there were fans on TikTok talking about how it's unfair that Chase Infiniti, as an Ateez fan, got to be in a video with them and meet the members, while people who have been supporting the group for years, who aren't celebrities, don't get to do it. And it creates a hierarchy within the fandom. This is an interesting take because wasn't there always going to be a hierarchy within the fandom? Like, they have friends in real life. Their friends in real life might like their music, but they still get to talk to the members. I feel like it's obvious their backup dancers might be fans as well. Like, of course, if you have a personal interest, like if you have a job related to the industry, you're going to get to interact with people in that industry. So that was just a really confusing situation. Perhaps like this is one of the times where I should put clips in because I'm not sure if people have heard of this, but I was kind of confused by that. Like, I think this is something special about people who are really into fandom spaces, is that they express a sense of ownership over these people. Why are you upset that you don't get to meet Ateez because you've spent a certain amount of money? That I don't buy a certain number of basketball jerseys and now I get to meet the Lakers. Like, it's a transaction. You support them, they perform. It's not you support them enough and then you get to have a personal relationship with them. And that could be a topic for a separate video. I think my videos that are most relevant to that are probably how K-pop sells personality and parasocial relationships. So I'll link those in the description box. But that was definitely a head scratcher of a comment. The next topic that I have for today's podcast episode is Girl Set's fourth single, Chat, will be releasing on July 17th. This is typically I'm really excited for a girl set release outside of Commas, which was just a transitional song that in my mind, it doesn't exist. Little Miss and Tweak were really good. Yeah, because they're kind of this as their fourth single, so Commas would count as well. Little Miss and Tweak were really good songs. I liked the music videos, I liked the dances. I think it really showed that they have a sense of direction with where this group is going. I will say, I watched a promotional video for this single, and the lyrics, if we are to believe that the text messages are going to be lyrics in the song, I'm kind of nervous because it looks like they're going to be going that Katseye route. People be yappy. I don't know. I don't know that I'm excited to hear that. I'll have to see if it really ends up, if they really end up saying that. I'll cringe when they say it, but hopefully the rest of the song is good. Uh, and they've actually done some pretty interesting promotion for this single. They have a website. They did some live streams that were kind of glitching out. They did, I'm sure they did some other stuff, but that's what comes to mind. So they're taking a bit of a more creative route with promoting this single. And with this being their fourth single, quote unquote, Commas, again, doesn't exist to me. I wonder if, is this going to be the lead single for an album? They're selling this single on their website individually, so I don't think it is, unfortunately. But it's, I don't know, it's been a while now. I would like for them to announce an album, and it's July, so if they're going, it, it's July, so if they were going to release an album, they would probably announce it soon, right? Because they want to do pre orders, and I imagine if they announce an album, maybe it would be released around November, right? Because it's already month number 7. November's 11. So I think that's good. Yeah. So hopefully August we get an announcement. Now, if you guys watched my video on how much did K-pop companies make in 2025, JYP actually said that Girl Set was set to release multiple albums. Of course, these reports are just estimates. They're what they're planning to do. It doesn't mean that nothing that they write in there is actually set, like 100% set to happen. It's just what they want. But with them saying that they were planning for Girl Set to release multiple albums this year, I was kind of hoping that by July we would have an announcement of at least one album. So I think maybe they will, potentially they could still do multiple albums. Maybe one album is going, I'm talking a little fast. Maybe one album is going to be regular, an EP, what we would expect, and then perhaps another album could be like a Christmas special or something. And it's not, or I suppose they could always do a single album and just release like 2 extra songs for the year. I also wonder, are these previous songs, I don't recall if Tweak and Little Miss are going to be on this album. I really hope that they are. Also, chat, I don't know if any of these songs are going to be on the album, but I hope that they are because fans really like them. And I'm not a big fan of buying a CD for one song. I feel like if I'm buying a CD, I want to have multiple songs on it. I don't like bringing out I use a karaoke machine as a CD player. I don't like bringing out my CD player and then putting in a tape and it only has a tape and then putting in a CD and it only has 1 or 2 songs on it because then I have to change it out. I like to let the music play. RuPaul. Anywho, that's my feelings on that. Next, we have Hearts to Hearts Lemon Tang Encore. They got a little bit of backlash for this because people felt that their vocals were not up to par. I feel like people who watch encores are either a fan of the group or you're looking for something to not like. I agree, they did not sound the best. Okay. Particularly people were talking about Carmen. Okay, sure, it wasn't great. But I don't know. Does it matter really? I get the argument that if you're a vocalist, you should be able to sing, including in an encore. 100% that makes sense. My issue is, I don't know. I feel like what you're saying is true, but the way that people go about it feels like they're just looking for something to criticize. Uh, I, and I feel like, okay, now I feel like I can say whatever I think about Hearts to Hearts. I think that generally their music is good, but if they don't if they don't have that extra something, I think this is exactly what's going to happen. I think that people are just going to hop on them the same way that they do with Le Seraphim. I think that if the music quality, like if the songs that we're getting from Hearts to Hearts don't stay tip top, and even some people felt that Lemon Tang was not that good of a song. So I think if they can't keep up this this type of quality to their music, people are going to start hating on them because that's what they like Hearts to Hearts for. I think with other groups, who's another group? Uh, Same thing with Le Seraphim, right? When their music wasn't exactly what people wanted from them, they just started like, oh, they can't sing, and then Le Seraphim is actually a good pick because they're getting criticism now for their vocals in a Billboard video. At this point, you either need to make do with it, stop listening to the group, or I don't know. But like continuously bringing up the same thing. Okay. And next up we have Heesung's debut. Okay, I feel like this is a lot of negative controversy that people have been having. With Heesung's debut, he debuted with Ride or Die. I think that song was okay. It's okay. To me, it wasn't. I didn't know what to expect because I'm not really into Enhypen like that. But I thought to myself, this does sound kind of similar to what Enhypen would release. That's how I felt. And I also I thought that the auto tune was a little too heavy on the song. If there was less auto tune, I probably would have been okay putting it in my playlist. But it was so heavy, I felt like I don't know. I'll pass on this one. And because this sounded to me so similar to an Enhypen song, I was surprised by the reaction from people. Some people said, this sounds so similar to what you were releasing in Enhypen. Why would you leave the group for this? Some people said, uh, this sounds like trash. Of course, there were always going to be people who didn't like it. Then people were talking about how his skinny jeans look funny, and then in his performances, and then he stopped wearing skinny jeans in the performances. People were talking about uh, him being cringy, doing dances. People were talking about, mind you, he was doing dances like that when he was in Enhypen, and I tried to look for comments like that. I wasn't seeing them. Uh, Talking about he shouldn't have gone solo, he not having the star power and things like that. I think this will be a topic for a video coming soon. But I just don't get the I don't know, and this is the same thing I think when with groups that people say have fallen off, like ITZY for example. Every comeback, there's nothing that they can do that you would like. If he came out with a ballad, you would say it's boring. If he came out with, I don't know, a pop song, they would be like, whatever. Same thing with Yeonjun for some reason. I think maybe the reason people don't like his stuff is because he has such a particular style. Maybe they like that one song he had with Daniela, but it seems like Gum, people are like, this is trash. Like everything people seem to be pretty upset about. And I don't think that really makes sense. I think if a member left a group that I like, why would I be so negative about him leaving? But I did see comments like, why would you leave the group to release this? You could have put this out in the group, and I don't think you'll ever know why he left the group. And then I'm pretty sure Enhypen released a video with him in it, and then Jungwon came out and he was like, we are 6 members now, guys. We are not 7. So why would their team release that video? If not, I don't know, for attention, I guess. But yeah, I think a lot of the time too, the internet and fandom kind of push people to be negative. So, for example, like videos that make you feel a certain emotion get more attention. So if I post a video that makes people mad, you're more likely to watch longer into the video. You're going to share it to your friends like, what is she talking about? So I feel like it's kind of like that. And then also people feel secure because there's a sense of community around what they're saying. There's several people saying, this sucks, this is trash. His live vocals, I remember people talking about his live vocals on that one show where they have the long mic and they stand in they're on like a gray background on a radio show. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it seems like you guys just don't like anything about what he's doing right now. So I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of sad. But I was talking about how fandom pushes negativity. Yeah, because if one you have the group mentality, one person hates something everybody else does, and you feel empowered because of the community behind you. Okay. Next up, I have kind of an interesting topic, which is K-pop idols and meta glasses. A few K-pop idols, Yeonjun, Jennie, and Hongjung, have promoted meta glasses. Those are the three that I remembered did it. And I think meta glasses are kind of interesting because I don't like them. Something about them, the recording feature just makes me uncomfortable. I realize that you can see the cameras, but it's not right to me. Something about it I don't like. And I think I think I guess I would prefer if they didn't promote it. Now, the reason that I put this here, I think people were talking about how one of them was promoting them. Hongjung, I think he recorded a performance. He was performing and he had the glasses on. You could see the audience. And all I'm thinking about now is like how Kylie Jenner made a new set of the Meta glasses and she was promoting them. I think this may have been a controversial. I need to write more for the description when I put these topics, but I think that may have been a little bit controversial about them pushing that because, because the Meta glasses, like people, they're used to record people non-consensually, and I mean most people. If you see someone wearing a pair of glasses, you're not going to look into the corner of the glasses to see if they have a camera. But uh yeah, so that's why I really don't like it, because I remember people talking about the camera that La Seraphim was selling with their album, which okay, it's small. It's not that small. The camera isn't that small, and it also has a very visible lens, and I remember that being a talking point. But the meta glasses, I feel like I'm not seeing the exact same type of reaction, and I feel like that's worse. Again, maybe this goes back to people just not liking La Seraphim for whatever reason. And next, we have that Unchild, the new group under High Up Entertainment, had their Spotify taken over by someone posting AI images of the group in kind of inappropriate uh, poses and with definitely inappropriate names. And to me, this was kind of crazy because how is no one seeing this on your team? Why is no one saying anything about this? It was up there for several days at the very least, because I checked, I think on the second or third day, and it was still there. I didn't play any of the songs because I didn't want to give them streams, so I don't know what they sound like. But are these people not. What is their password? Anyway, that was just a crazy story. And I would. I don't know how to report stuff on Spotify, but I probably would do that if you knew how to do it. And it was also, I think some of the members are pretty young, so that's another layer of uncomfortability to it. And I don't get why someone would do that. Like, what do you gain from doing that? And also, that's really creepy to do as well because of how the pictures were, the AI images were that this person had generated as the um image promotional image for some of these songs. I assume the songs were also AI generated. And next, okay, Winwin leaves NCT and SM. This one I have a really short response for. Okay, I posted back in January about SM Entertainment and how they just leave people hanging. Winwin, we know he's gone. Uh, he wasn't there for a long time, so I'm glad we have an official announcement on his departure. And yeah, that's it. That's it. I wasn't expecting him to come back. I honestly, I might have. Well, I might have done a cartwheel if he did come back. I would have been very confused. So this is the correct series of events. Next up, Yuno ends relationship with his longtime girlfriend. Now, I've never reported on relationships before in the podcast, and that's because I really am not interested in them. The reason I find this one so funny is that we didn't know. They had never announced that he was dating anyone. And this has been going on for a really long time. And then they just KQ Entertainment just confirmed that they broke up. Okay, why did you tell us that? We didn't know. So that's just like, that's again a head scratcher. I don't get what that was for. Uh, were people wondering? Like, was it something that people? No, and that's how the reaction has been from the entire community. Is kind of like, okay, uh, crazy thing to say now. Um, and I think that K-pop idol relationships are something that we never really need to know about. Like in this context, when they just mention that you're dating someone, okay, and it's not even someone in the industry, it's like whatever. Even if it is someone in the industry, are you going to do a collab stage? That's what I always thought would be a good idea. Like if they do a collab stage or something, but they never do. So, I mean, why should we care then? Next up, Katseye announced their documentary Wild Hearts to be released in theaters August 12th, and they're going to start selling tickets on July 15th. Multiple comments on this one. First of all, how many documentaries do we need? Hive has a thing for documentaries. This is they had um, Dream Academy before they debuted. They had Popstar Academy when they debuted, and now we have Wild Hearts 2 years in. We have more documentaries than you have years as a group. And then on top of that, when did they start filming this? Watch. This is gonna reveal Manon has been sent on hiatus because XYZ. They're gonna say it in the documentary. Another thing I thought was interesting, I didn't know that movies start selling tickets month about a month in advance. I've never seen that before. I guess I just wasn't aware of it. But I don't know. I'm sure these will sell out too. Here's the description for the documentary. Katseye Wild Hearts celebrates the group's new era and the fans who made it possible. Features exclusive behind the scenes footage, icons, fan videos, and intimate interviews with the members. This also does feature Manon. She is listed on the IMDb page, and it's estimated to be an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. Manon's actually been, I think she went to a Fashion Week event. Of course, she went to that F1 event. She's been making public appearances outside of the group. So that's kind of to me like, what do you guys have going on? Like, I mean, uh, as long as she's still in the contract, Hybe is still going to be making money off of her doing appearances. So I don't know what, like, I don't even want to start to think about what they have going on with that. Uh, and that's actually, I thought I was going to do 2 episodes. That's actually all the topics that we had for this week. Um, so I kind of, my bad, guys. We didn't have enough topics. I will add, I didn't do my top songs for the week, so I'm gonna do that now. My top songs for this week were Lemon Tang by Hearts to Hearts. That one is okay, I agree it's not Hearts to Hearts' best song, but it's pretty good in my opinion, and compared to some of the other stuff that's been released, I think it makes it sound even better. And the other one I have is Oxy by Key Beats. Key Beats. I think it's Key Beats. They just debuted, and the song. Okay, you guys know I'm not a big fan of the rap, so if you get, it's worth listening to the song to get to the chorus. So I kind of just pushed through the raps, but that's all I had for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video because it sends my video out to a larger audience. Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Bye!